everybody, welcome back to Morgan's Creations. I've got some new videos this year coming out, but the first one, the one I'm kind of excited about doing is last year I did an online poll about which bottle stopper we wanted to carve. Number one was this guy here, little backwoods guy smoking a cigarette. That's the one everybody wanted to do, so we're going to be carving that in this video series. In another note, the second weekend of January, I was featured on the International Association of Woodcarvers, their weekly meeting. Really, really lots of fun. And if you've not checked out their videos before, you really should just do a Google search or a YouTube search for the International Association of Woodcarvers. Lots of really good information, lots of really great carvers. They come on there and do a demonstration and talk about their carving experience. So I did this little hillbilly here, little hillbilly refrigerator magnet. So it's finished. We're going to be sending it to them, and they're going to include that in one of their, I think it's a monthly raffle. The one that's coming up, I believe, is a Helvy knife and the refrigerator magnet. So if you've not seen them or seen their channel, it's well worth the time to check it out. So let's get started on the video. Okay, guys, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. No, not really. Just another carving video. Anyway, so we're going to try to do this in 2 videos. It may end up being 3, but we're going to try 2. So, as you all know, this is the old backwoods guy bottle stopper. For this demonstration, I'm just going to use a regular cap, which I've done for many others, but it doesn't have the cork in the bottom of it. It's just a generic bottle cap. So what I've got is I've got my pattern, drew out my pattern, and I'll try to make this pattern available in the link below. But I've got 2 3/4 inch wide piece of basswood by 3.5, and the width of this is 2.5. So the first thing I want to do to orientate myself, make sure I'm going the right way. This is the back of his hat. So what I want to do is I just kind of want to mark where I think that ball cap's going to be. And these marks are going to disappear. Something like that. Okay. And we've got our center line. And so to speed this up, I won't leave out any key steps, but whenever I'm shaping this and thinning this down quite a bit, I'll probably do a fast forward, 3 to 5 times, just so it saves on time. But before we get started with the carving, the other thing I want to do is I want to mark the center of the bottom of the block where the cap will go. So I'm just going to kind of put a mark in there. So there's roughly my center. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just going to draw around it. What I'll do, typically first what I'll do while I've got it somewhat before I carve it, I'll go ahead and take a Forstner bit and drill this out and make sure this is going to fit. And then that gives me my area so I know how thin to make this right here, because we're going to skinny this up quite a bit. So let me get that drilled and I'll tell you what size I use. Most of the caps that I've seen are pretty much the standard size, but I'll let you know here in just a second. Okay, so I got the hole drilled. This one ended up being 1 inch and basically 1/4. So I just drill it down to where I get a depth that I like. It doesn't have to go inside. Typically I'll just leave it out just a little bit. But anyway, got that. It makes it a lot easier if you do it first instead of trying to do it later on. So let me grab my glove and my thumb guard real quick. And so the first thing that I want to do is since I've marked the bottom of this cap, I'm going to take my V tool and follow that line around. Go over here, same thing. And we'll shape the cap later. So I'll go ahead and use my knife for this part of it. So all I'm going to do in this first step is I'm going to go around and I'm going to thin this up quite a bit. So basically what I'm looking for when I get this to the shape, this will be somewhere about the thickness that I'm looking for. Something like that. But again, it doesn't have to be exact. And we'll make it all look the way it should. But there's a lot of material here to remove. So I mean you can see all this has got to come out. It's all going to go up. So we're going to end up having, you know, a shape. Something like that. So if we look at this guy, he's got a little bit of a taper to him. So that's the first step. So I'm going to go ahead and start that, and I'll probably speed up this process since that's really not that much interesting. And if I come to a point where I need to tell you something, then we'll go back to normal speed. One thing I do want to note before we get going too far into this is I want to leave some space. So basically what I want to do from my center line, I want to round it this way and that way. So if you look at it from the top, we're going to have basically this is where his nose is going to be. And so I want to kind of give it a something like a shape like that. So this will be rounded this way, this will be rounded that way, and the beard and the face as well. Okay, so you can see we're starting to take off quite a bit. Now we're taking it off the bottom, but we've got to transfer that back up towards the top. So just kind of getting an idea as to how much more we're going to have to remove, and it's a lot. You could probably cut a side profile. Typically I don't, or not a side profile, a front profile out on the bandsaw, but typically I'll just carve it that way. If I need to make any changes, I've got the material there. And then that way it makes it easier and I don't have to start over again. So he's kind of starting to take a little bit of shape. We still got a little bit more to do here. So we'll just keep, and all I'm doing is just going around and pulling this hat out. So we've got, we're, I don't know how far away we are. We're getting closer. Yeah, we got quite a bit more to go. But you can kind of see he's starting to take shape. Now that we've kind of got that to a little bit better shape, we've thinned it up quite a bit, as you can see here. So now I kind of want to do the same thing to the hat and start bringing this down and around. So basically I'm going to take this material off right here, and I'm going to be shaping it up towards the top. Until we get that thickness right there. So we've got a lot of wood removal. Nothing special about this. I'll round it off in the back as well. Okay, so we removed quite a bit of that. So now what I want to do now that we've got this shape somewhat close, we still got some more to remove, but I want to go ahead and thin this up just a little bit more. And then once we do that, I think we'll probably stop there and continue with the next video. Look at it from the back side, you notice that we've got a little bit of a bulge right here, so I want to take that down. Okay, so we've kind of roughly got him to shape. This first video was nothing but a bunch of wood removal, obviously. Like I said, you could typically I won't cut. I'll cut the side profile, but I won't cut the sides. Well, cut this side, but not the front and back profile. I know it's a lot of wood removal, but it's easier for me, like I said before, if I want to make adjustments to it. Um, so I think what we'll do is we'll stop here and we'll pick it up in the next video, and we should be getting some features put in and moving him along a lot further. So until then, stay tuned for part 2 that will be coming up.